Hey everyone, so before we get started, we got a couple of announcements for you.
Yeah, so happy International Podcast Day to everyone. This is a big day. Unfortunately, we are recording on International Podcast Day instead of releasing this episode, but
Well, to be fair, we're also releasing. We just
we're
didn't
releasing.
plan well.
Yeah, we just didn't talk about International Podcast Day on the episode that's releasing today, but whatever. Anyway, so we're celebrating International Podcast Day in a lot of ways. One of them, though, pretty exciting. We are going to donate $1 to a charity that is listed for people who are running the Chicago Marathon. So depending on how much we have to donate, maybe I'll split it up across of a few, but we're going to donate $1 to charities for every listener we get on this episode. So every listener or download? Download.
I don't know how to track listeners since we're not live, so every download.
Every download we get. So tell your friends, listen to it, and then tell your friends, because then we'll donate more money. And if you're not familiar with the Chicago Marathon, you can run as just an individual, or you can run for a charity. And there's a bunch of teams out there that are just raising money and running for a cause. So we are going to donate to a few of them, depending on how many downloads, almost the listeners again, downloads we get. So listen, tell your friends and your family and your mom and tell them to listen. Yeah, because we want to donate, because that's how we want to celebrate for International Podcast Day.
Right on. And also, happy late National Coffee Day.
Yeah, that was another big miss. I mean,
big miss, yeah.
I had some coffee yesterday, did you?
Yeah, I have coffee every day, so.
Yeah, so happy National Coffee Day.
Hey, and welcome to the Pod Cafe. I'm Nick Potts.
And I'm Emily Potts.
And we drink coffee and talk about the podcasts we're listening to.
On International Podcast Day. Woo woo.
International Podcast Day.
What kind of coffee are you drinking?
I'm drinking a nostalgic coffee today.
That looks like a beer.
Yeah, that's kind of fun, right? It's in a glass bottle.
Oh.
Can you see it?
Metropolis.
It does look like, yep, exactly, Metropolis. So Metropolis is the hipster coffee shop that was located close to my apartment when I went to Loyola in undergrad. And we would go there and get coffee and chill and study and do stuff. So I thought they were just like a, I don't know, local coffee shop. But apparently not. Unless it's just a different Metropolis coffee company. But I like to think it's the same place.
Do you call it the hipster coffee shop, or are they self-proclaimed hipster coffee shop?
No, I call it, but they were 100% the most hipster coffee shop.
Okay.
But yeah, I like to think it's the same place. I really think it is. It's a cold brew. It is in a glass bottle. I just am reading on here that there's 2 servings in this container.
Dang.
Which is weird because it's not very big. It's 12 ounces. So one serving is only 6 ounces. That's crazy. But yeah. So it's oh no, never mind. Okay, we're good. It does say non-alcoholic on the bottle, just in case you were confused.
I was confused because I was like, it's a little early for a beer on a Sunday.
Yeah, not beer, just coffee. But it's pretty good. It's very it's very bitter, which I kind of like early in the morning, especially when I'm super tired. I like bitter coffee because it, like, I don't know, I feel like it wakes me up more.
That's fair.
No, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the way I feel. It's kind of fun because all this reviewing of coffee, I really think is starting to get me to see the differences in different coffees.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of neat that I can actually taste the difference between like this cold brew and like Starbucks' cold brew and the cold brew I had last week. So I don't know.
What's like the
I'm
coffee equivalent of like a som, like a wine sommelier, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's maybe what you're becoming. Let me Google that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm a calm.
Okay. Maybe. That was rough.
That's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing. I'll give this like a 9. I think I pretty much have no complaints about it, except that it was kind of expensive for this little glass bottle, and I bought 2. But it's very good.
I'm just Googling what we could call you.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it looks like we're calling you a barista, but I don't know. Let me see how much.
Okay.
What else I can find?
I'm gonna change this to an 8.
Oh, an 8? Why? What happened?
Yeah, it is very bitter, but but I get. Remember when I talked about the brandless cold brew that I let steep too long and it tasted like vodka?
Yeah.
This kind of has a similar taste to it, and maybe that's just the cold brew thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. It does have a weird kind of hard liquor taste.
Interesting. Maybe it's also because you're drinking it out of a beer bottle.
Yeah, maybe it's just mental.
Yeah. How much longer do you think we're going to be crushing cold brews? Because I'm also drinking a cold brew today.
Not much longer.
Yeah, I didn't
it's
think so
freezing
either.
in my apartment today, so.
Oh.
And yesterday was the first time I ordered a hot drink from Starbucks over a cold drink in a while, so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're running out of time with these cold ones, but.
Yeah, this might be the last time, actually.
Are you going to ask me what I'm drinking?
Yeah, sure. What are you drinking?
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me tell you about what I'm drinking. I'm also drinking a cold brew. And in my head, I was like, okay, National Coffee Day was yesterday. International Podcast Day is today. Like, I got to do it big. I got to, like, go get a fancy coffee and get ready to podcast. But then I went to a workout class this morning, and all I wanted to do was, like, get home and shower before we podcast. So I'm drinking something that I already had in my fridge that I'm newly into, which I wish I would have discovered it earlier. But it's the Trader Joe's ready-to-drink cold brew coffee. So they have 2.
Interesting.
And I actually don't know the difference, and this makes me a not barista because they have like a cold brew concentrate and then they have like a cold brew ready-to-drink.
What? Yeah, what's the difference? Aren't they both ready to drink?
I don't know, but it's really good actually. It's like, it tastes like a full, like a really full-bodied coffee, but still a cold brew that came right out of my fridge, you know?
Yeah, you can really taste the bean, huh?
Yeah, I can really taste the bean. Oh, here we go. I'm Googling this right now.
Okay.
It seems like it seems to be a beans to water ratio situation.
Oh, so it's just more concentrated caffeine?
I think so. Concentrate means you can have it hot, too. This Reddit feed about concentrate versus ready to drink is not very helpful.
Yeah, Reddit, the most reliable source on the internet.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, it's really good. And when I was checking out at Trader Joe's, the cashier was like, "Have you had this cold brew yet?" And I was like, "No, but I'm pretty pumped." And she was like, "I think it's the best one we've ever had." So I was like already excited. It's called.
You get a lot of interaction at when you're buying things.
Yeah.
Remember when you bought your tea and had a conversation with someone about your turmeric?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think it's the people at Trader Joe's. They're so friendly.
Must be. I guess the people at Whole Foods are a little the same.
Yeah. But it says like smooth and bold on the package. And I would agree with that. I would say it's definitely smooth and bold.
Oh.
And to add to this, I'm obviously drinking it out of my Yeti. Remember my Yeti?
Yeah, of course, your $30 Yeti.
Yep. So it's going to stay smooth and bold for our whole recording session.
This podcast sponsored by Yeti.
Mm-hmm. And Trader Joe's.
And Trader Joe's and Spotify and Smart Coffee.
Yep.
So what do you rate it then?
I think I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay, solid.
Yeah. I don't know.
Have we ever given a coffee a 10?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think I have. Didn't I give a coffee a 10 the last week when I had like my
yeah,
favorite
your
one?
milk and
Yeah.
and honey and thing. Yeah.
The problem is, like, I'd love to give more coffees a 10, but like my milk and honey coffee situation is like amazing, but I can't drink that every day. One, that's like sugar calorie overload for the morning. But also, it's just like expensive. Like some days you just gotta be really chill with like a 7 to 9 rated coffee, you know?
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of like the pain scale. I just don't know if we rate it based on what we've experienced or like, can you imagine there's a better coffee out there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we got
Don't you think
8s
it's
and 9s.
weird? Don't you think it's weird that like Starbucks yesterday was National Coffee Day? No mention of it. No sales, no like promotion. Don't you think coffee places would take advantage of that?
You would think so. Dunkin' Donuts had a coffee sale of some sort. So
Should have went there, I guess.
yeah. I tweeted about it.
Yeah, you would think they would all do that. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, today is, I just realized, the season premiere of season 2 of the podcast.
Woohoo!
Yeah, episode 1, season 2. We're doing the comedy genre, and I picked the podcast for today, and I can't wait to talk about this one.
I have a guess.
Hate it.
Oh, I was going to say, I bet you're going to hate it.
I cannot I have never struggled so hard to make it through a podcast. In
What?
All of the episodes we've done.
Oh my
all
God.
of one
You want to
season.
hear something funny?
Yeah.
I loved it.
I knew you were going to. I was talking to Lisa. I was like, she's going to absolutely love it, and I'm going to hate it.
I think it was so funny.
This podcast is called Why Won't You Date Me? And it's done by Nicole Byer, who is a comedian. She was on Girl Code back in the day.
Oh, that's what it was. Girl Code.
Girl Code. She's on a TV show called Nailed It right now, which is a baking show. I think it's a cake baking show.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I actually watched it. It's on Netflix. I've seen it a few times.
Oh.
They see, like, you know, it's basically like a Pinterest fail show. So they look at like baking cakes or cupcakes or what cookies or whatever that were made on Pinterest, and then they have to recreate them. And it's hilarious what some people's turn out like in comparison to like what they
Is
actually...
it like a competition thing?
Yeah.
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 Interesting. Who else is on the show? It's not just her, right?
No,
is she like
she's
a
the
judge?
host.
Oh, she's the host.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember who else. There's like an old lady, and I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're not talking about the show. We're talking about the podcast, Why Won't You Date Me? And it's about exactly that. It's about her. I didn't listen to as many episodes as I should have. I probably listened to less than 10.
What?
But
That's so not like
yeah.
you.
I could not. I struggled so hard to get
I
to
don't
listen to
understand.
this one.
I think it was so great.
Oh my God. And so I believe she started the podcast interviewing like ex-boyfriends and stuff. But from what I listened to, she like the first 5 episodes were that, and then she was done with ex-boyfriends. So then she started bringing on friends and people she's just dated and whatever. So yeah, she talks to them about dating and stuff. It's a lot of why people won't date her, but it's not entirely about her. She asks them about their dating life and stuff too. So,
But I think it's like
oh,
always...
there's a car outside, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's outside my apartment. Sorry. I have this window. Oh, I probably shouldn't say this live in case someone comes to kill me. I have this window that doesn't close all the way or lock.
Oh, okay.
So you get a lot of sidewalk noise.
Good thing you're moving soon.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the podcast. She only interviews single people, though, right?
No, not
Oh.
always.
Oh, no, there was the married couple on there, too. I forgot.
Oh, she had a couple? Yeah, I listened
Yeah.
to this. He works on the Nailed It show. I forgot what he does. He might be an AD or something, but he's married.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's that. Shall we jump into the category criteria?
Yeah, let's give it a start with the music and introduction.
This is a HeadGum podcast.
Why won't you date me? Why won't you date me? Why won't you date me? Please tell me why.
The worst. The absolute worst.
Okay, might I remind you, you chose this podcast.
At random, didn't know it was going to be awful.
Okay. All right.
The intro.
It wasn't awful. I enjoyed it.
Okay, here's the plus about the intro. No ads. You know why? Because nobody wants to sponsor this podcast.
You're being rude now. I really liked it.
It wasn't like, it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's definitely funny.
It's just not for you.
It's not for me.
No.
It is definitely funny. It is definitely a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
The
intro's
but
short. You know, you got to give it
it's
that.
very short.
Like, it is
thankfully.
annoying, but it's short.
Yes, it's so annoying.
Yeah. It's a little whiny, but it's
Why,
it's like kind of her personality.
No, it's very much her personality. Yeah. I wish I could skip it every time. It hurts my ears.
But by the time you'd go to skip it, it would be done. So there's
it is. It's really short.
she's basically just singing the title of the podcast in a really whiny, kind of childlike sounding voice, but it's short. I find it a little annoying, but it's not long enough to actually annoy me.
I give it a 4.
Wow. You hate it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go lower, but
there's not that
it
many
is
negative
short.
things
There's no
about
ads.
it. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm going to give it a 7.
It's catchy, unfortunately.
See?
It's stuck in my head.
I feel like you're just trying to want to hate it, but you don't actually hate it.
No, I do hate the intro more than anything I've ever listened to.
Well, that is so dramatic. I'm giving it a 7 because it is kind of annoying, but it's short and it goes away quickly and there's no ads, and then we move on. It doesn't ruin my day.
Okay. Moving on.
So, all right. So we'll skip the intro. Maybe you can give the listeners a little piece of it.
No, I will for sure. And they will agree at least a 4, maybe less.
Maybe a 7. Maybe they'll be in my room.
Maybe. Maybe I'm the only one.
Let's talk about the content.
Okay. Let's talk about the content. You want to go first? Or you want to do bad news, good news, or good news, bad news?
Why don't you go first? Because you're kind of a downer.
Okay. No, this one's really not that bad because the content's pretty funny, and I actually love the idea of the podcast. I think the concept's really good because there's not a lot of dialogue going on between people about the dating world. So it is kind of fun to have that. And I love some of the stuff she talks about, like I don't know. She talks a lot about app dating, which is very current, and I don't know. The concept of the podcast is really a good one, I think. And because she's got no problem getting personal with people. And at least in the ones I've listened to, people have no problem with her doing that. So it really facilitates a nice dialogue and a funny dialogue. And it's not always about dating, especially when she has comedians on. They talk about comedy a lot. But yeah, I don't hate the content as much as you think.
I love the content. You know why? It's like super relevant to me. Like, I'm out there on dating apps as a single lady.
Sure.
It's like so, and what she talks about is like so real that it's funny. You're like, yep, I've had that happen. Like things like that I think it's just, it's relevant. Everything she's talking about is very relevant. And yeah. I also really like that she does she started with the ex-boyfriends. That was kind of funny. And I was like pleasantly surprised how everyone reacted. But
did you listen to any of those?
yeah, I listened to like most of those and then started jumping around from there. But
See, I went from most recent backwards.
But I think what was like interesting to me was just how like open everyone was about the topic. I feel like dating life is like people get like antsy about it, or they like don't want to talk.
Yeah, people get weird about it.
Yeah, but like this was just like a nice open way to do it. I also it kind of reminded me of have you read the book Modern Romance?
Never heard of it.
Oh, it was written by Aziz Ansari. You know him?
Oh, of course.
Yep, you should read it. It's like a book version of this podcast. It's like
Is it like a book version of his show, Master of None?
Kind of, yeah. You should read Modern Romance. It's pretty good. But it made me think of that. I'm like, all these people out there, these funny people, are like bringing to light like the real things that young people are doing these days, like dating apps and stuff.
Yeah, so I actually don't have a lot of bad things to say about the content. Yeah, I agree. They talk about a lot of really interesting things, and some stuff that I really agree with. Some stuff I hated. Like, she had this one comedian friend on, and they were talking about Tinder, I think, and comedian friend was like, well, first they were complaining about all the nasty messages and like pictures they get, and which, sure, understandable, that's gross. And then the comedian lady was like, I have this friend who his strategy on Tinder is just to be nice to women, and it works all the time because women are always getting nasty stuff, and they were mad about it. So
Why
like,
are they mad?
I don't know. They're like, oh, that's disgusting. He's just being nice so he can get laid. And so it's like, they don't want him to be nice. They don't want him to be nasty. It's just a lose-lose. What are you supposed to do? How can you be mad about them being nice if you're complaining about them not being nice? It drove me crazy.
I mean, this is like women. We're never happy. You just have to deal with that and keep trying to please us, okay?
Ugh. Oh, it was the worst. But it was funny that it was hilarious because also a part of his strategy is knowing a lot about the signs, like astrology. Because they're like, because women are just into astrology. They're really into that stuff. And Nicole was like, I'm really not. But if a guy talked to me about it, I would really think he's in tune with women because women are into that stuff. Which is really true.
I'm really not into astrology, I don't think.
I think it's a bunch of nonsense. But a lot of women really are. A lot of women will not date people.
Like reading their horoscopes and stuff?
Yeah. Will not date people whose signs don't match up, or they're like, I hate the people who are like, will bring up in conversation, they'll tell you a story about something they did, and they'll be like, well, you know, I'm a Taurus, so it's just so nonsense.
I think, well, I'm a Gemini, and I feel like the only thing about Geminis is that, like, they tend to just hate everyone. So I don't actually think knowing anything about my sign would go well for me.
I don't really know. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't really know much about it. I do know that when I was sort of dating this girl, she had a book, like a whole book of horoscopes, and it was broken down into like sections, and one of them was like a romantic thing, and it like tells you which signs you should date and like how your relationship, what things will happen in a relationship based on the signs. And she had to like look us up and stuff, and it was really weird.
That is kind
But
of
yeah, not into it. But for content, I will give it like an 8 or a 9.
You have to choose. We don't do ors here.
Yeah, I will give it. I'll give it a 9.
Dang, look at you being positive. I'm going to give it a 9
I really
too.
did enjoy the content.
But I really like the content. I think it's funny. It's good.
Yeah, it was funny. It was very funny.
It's relatable. Okay, let's talk about oh, this will be so much fun. The entertainment value of it.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you love it? Are you going back? Are you going to listen to more?
Not
I'm
once.
probably going to
Will
listen
not.
to more.
I will not go back.
Oh.
My entertainment value is less than my intro. It's probably a 3.
Can you
I'm gonna
give
give
me,
it a
like,
3.
A big reason why. Like,
Yes.
what?
Yeah, I think one, it's very no. I changed my mind. I was gonna say it's very like a lot of stuff they talk about is woman based, which I just don't relate to. Though I don't know that that's a reason because it's nice to hear the woman's side of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not really the reason. I think what it comes down to is I just don't enjoy her.
Oh.
I'm not into her personality. I think she exudes insecurity to me and tries to cover it up by being loud and obnoxious. And I hate, and this is just a personal thing, I hate how vulgar she is. And like, I just don't think she needs to be. And I'm just not into that. Like, I don't like fart humor or like bathroom humor or like really gross humor.
You don't like poop jokes?
No, not into them. Like, it's not like I hate them. I just like don't find them that funny. And she's just like, she strikes me as like one of the guys, and I'm just not in. I can't stand. Not that I can't stand. That's harsh, but I don't enjoy
you're being
listening
a little harsh
to her.
today.
She's very like, the whiny thing you said drives me nuts, and I don't know. She would be annoying for me to hang out with for a long period of time. I would need small doses, I think.
That's fair. I think I
Yeah.
love all of those things you just said.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure. Because she's very like big personality, like independent, like I don't know, women empowerment, which is all fine things. Those things I'm on board with. I just like, she's obnoxious to me.
Yeah, she's great.
Ugh.
All right, so she's not your type of person. That's fine.
Mhm.
I mean, so like if she were asked to ask you like why won't you date me, you would just be like, you're just not my type of person. I can only handle you in small dosages. You're freaking obnoxious. Whereas like I want to be your best friend.
Yeah, it's a personality thing,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, so what are you going to give this
I already said a 3.
Oh, you said a 3. Sorry. Missed that. I think I'm going to give it a 9.
Jesus.
I really enjoyed it. I think she doesn't annoy me at all. Well, like she
Okay.
does kind of, but not really. I think like the intro, yes, she's annoying and she is a little vulgar, but I just feel like she does like a good job just with the conversation piece. And because the topics are usually somewhat relevant to my life, I stay pretty entertained.
Okay.
So
that's
she gets
fair.
a 9 from me.
Wow.
Homegirl Nicole, killing it. Okay, let's talk about the structure.
Okay. This is another one I'm probably not going to rate lowly because she does a lot of really interesting things that I like. One thing she does is asks every guest pretty much the same questions,
Yeah.
which I think is neat because you get a more encompassing perspective on these questions, and you get to see how different people feel about them. Like, she's got the review my Tinder section,
Yep.
which is a good one. One of my favorite things in the podcast is when she insists that they have to take a break, and for no reason, because she just says, okay, we have to take a break, play some music, and then they're back. There's no sponsors, there's no anything. It's just a short break for no reason, and I think it's hilarious.
Wait, there were no ads? For some reason in my head I thought it was like a sponsor and ad time.
No, not.
Oh,
I mean, I
okay.
listen on Spotify, and she goes, "We got to take a break." And
yeah, then they
then
come right back.
right back, like 2 seconds after the music plays. And I thought it was hilarious. I think it's really funny. Yeah. So she asked pretty much the same questions. She's got the Tinder section. She's got the she asks every person at the end, "Would you date me?"
Mhm. No, it's
And
why won't you date me?
no, in the most recent ones that I listen to, it's "Would you date me?" That's what she says. And all the guys are like, "No, but here's why." And all the girls she brings on, not all of them. The first one I listened to was like, "Yeah, totally, I would," but the majority of them say no.
Yeah. You got to appreciate that honesty, though.
I do very much, and she is never upset by it, and I don't think she's hiding being upset by it. I think she legitimately understands and doesn't care.
Yeah. I think she knows that, like, her as a person is an acquired taste, and she has to
Probably.
just deal with that. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. I love the review my Tinder thing. I do that to people sometimes. I'll be like, look at my profile. It's pretty good. And actually, one time I did that, and this guy that I work with was like, this one is so boring. Like, one part of the profile, like, you had to answer a question or something. He was like, this is so boring. Like, I wouldn't reply to this. And I was like, oh, sad.
Aw.
Left it anyway. My overconfidence was like, he's wrong. I wouldn't want to date him anyway. And then I also really like the actual, like, would you date me? Why won't you date me part? Because I think that's just so funny. Like, can you imagine, like, asking that to people? And how, like, I was
Yeah.
thinking of, like, asking that to my guy friends and how uncomfortable that would make them. They would be like, why are you asking me this? Please go away.
That's why I love it, though, because, like, yeah, it's funny, and, like, but you would never ask it, but it seems like a really good like, everybody should get that feedback. It's like a job. If you get fired, you're told why, or you get feedback, and you can improve yourself. Or, like, if you're in school and you take a test and you do things wrong, you get feedback and you can improve on what you're doing wrong. But you can't do that in dating. So, like, you're just, like, throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, and nobody, like, tells you how you can be better at it. And which is what I really like about this podcast, because she's like, just tell me how I can get better.
Yeah, and you know what I think people should learn from this podcast is that, like, the true honesty is, like, not a bad thing. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, people are people. Just say an honest thing. Like, the worst breakups are the ones that, like, are for, like, where there's no real freaking reason, because you can't spit it out, you know?
Well, it's like an ego thing. People get their feelings hurt so easy, and you just have to, like, understand that not everybody's for everybody. And just because, like, one person isn't into you doesn't mean someone else will be. Like, it's attractiveness is subjective. So, like, if one or two people aren't into you, it doesn't mean you're the worst. It just means you're not for them. And
You're the worst.
you're nobody can like you.
We were talking about this at work the other day because Someone was like talking about how they went on a Tinder date and then he got like the classic response from the girl that was like, I had a good time, but like not really looking for anything serious right now, like something like that. And I was like, you got to appreciate that she at least just said that instead of just not replying to you ever again.
Yeah, stringing you along and then ghosting you.
Yeah, no one likes the ghost, so...
No, honestly, it's not personal. You just, like, you can't force someone to be into you.
Yeah, I saw on, I don't know where it was, some sort of social media, but now that it's coming in hot to October, people are posting like Halloween costumes, and someone was wearing like a long like white t-shirt with like the like text messages buckets on there and just no replies, and then they were wearing like a ghost face and they were
That's
like
funny.
I'm a ghost. Like
That's
being
funny.
ghosted, but I was like, that's
I love
great.
those kind of costumes.
Yeah, that's funny. But so I think what her podcast does is great for that, because it's like put the people on the spot. They got to know that question is coming, so they're just kind of ready to answer it, and then they answer it anyway. But I like that not everyone is like, I would totally date you, just in a different place. You know?
Yeah. Well, especially when she's interviewing, one of the guys she interviewed they went on like 5 dates, but it didn't work out or something.
Yeah.
And so he can't say yes because they tried.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. So he has to be honest. But yeah, it's a good dialogue to have started. I like it. So I'll give the structure I'm gonna give a 9.
Okay. Me too. I like it. The break is confusing though. Maybe we should ask her what the break is for.
Yeah, but I love it. Yeah.
Maybe she just needs a bathroom break. That's fair.
You know what? Let's take a break right now.
Yeah, we should take a break.
International Podcast Day is September 30th, and you can help spread the word. You may be asking, what can I do to get involved? It's pretty simple. Head over to internationalpodcastday.com and check the suggestions. Then use hashtag International Podcast Day to join the conversation. You can reach out and connect with other podcasters, listeners, and your favorite podcast hosts. Remember September 30th, International Podcast Day, a day-long celebration of the power of podcasts.
Okay, let's bring it back.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back.
Okay. Ooh, wow.
What do we have left here?
We got to talk about the production.
The production. Oh, before I forget, on our next season finale, what I decided we should do is, instead of the no structure thing we did last season,
Yeah.
we should the Pod Cafe rate and review ourselves, like season review. So we'll break it down into
I
intro
like
content. Yeah, do it
Okay.
to ourselves.
Okay. Good now.
Anyway, production.
Yep.
I don't know. Fine.
This is like your bread and butter, and all you have to say is fine. I know nothing about production.
It's
So-
good. The episodes I listened to didn't have any call-ins, so like audio quality was good all around. The music, though annoying, was fine. Yeah, her break transition was good. There's no like, it's not a storytelling podcast or anything, so there's no like outstanding production that needs to be done.
It also
think,
feels like... Oh, go ahead.
I think it's nice that the episodes are short and concise. They're not an hour, like 40 to 45 minutes. So I guess I don't know if she cuts it down to that or what. I'm quite sure she doesn't do her own editing. So whoever does that.
I don't know why you would say that. She could maybe do her own editing.
Maybe she's probably too busy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, I'll give the production a 10.
Woohoo! Big numbers from Nick. I was thinking, like, I don't know if they have, like, anything that she cuts out in the middle, between. But it seems like their conversation flows really well, and there's not a ton of, like, awkwardness or pauses or.
Yeah, there's definitely some editing going on, I'm sure.
So I think like it's good. It's smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I might give it a 10 too. You know what else I was thinking about this podcast? This is kind of random. It's like, so some of the people I like know from like Netflix shows or like her guests. And I'm always like fascinated that all of these people are also on Tinder.
Yeah, there's a lot of people apparently.
I was like, wow, even famous people use dating apps to find love. How great.
Do you think it's probably harder for them, right?
That's what I was thinking. Like, if a famous person popped up on mine, I would be like, one, catfish. Don't believe that that's actually that person.
Yep.
And two, like, why would I ever, like, swipe on them and be like, yeah, this famous person will totally date me?
Yeah. Because, yeah. I wonder how many of them want to date other celebrities as opposed to wanting to date just regular people.
Yeah.
I just like, as a famous person, I don't know how you can match with someone. It's got to be hard to think that they're not just swiping on me because I'm well known.
Yeah. And, like, just trying to get a pic with you,
Yeah.
you know, for the gram.
Yeah, which is why I think most of the people she's dated that she had on were like people she's met at work. One was like a writer or something, or an editor or producer or something. I don't remember. But they all worked in the industry, so it's like not a big deal for them.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions.
Can I tell you our averages
date
first?
her? Oh, yeah.
So you have an average of a 7.
That's so way too high. I rate this podcast a 5 or 6.
Wow, sad. Mine's an 8.8, and I feel pretty good about that. So back to your question, would I date her? I think no. And here's why.
Okay.
I think I am a similar personality, like a little loud, a little obnoxious, a little out there. And I just think
Okay.
we would butt heads. Like, I don't need another one of me to be who I date. I need it to be someone that balances me out, you know?
Okay.
So I think
Yeah.
there's just too many things that would cause just too much. Like, I'm kind of a lot of a person to handle, and she's kind of a lot. So, like, together, it would just be, like, absurd.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Why do you think people won't date her? Why do you think she has trouble dating?
I don't know. Part of it's got to be mental. Like, maybe she just doesn't want to date, you know?
Maybe. I think probably she's very picky would be something.
Yeah.
I tried to break it down. I don't necessarily think it's the way she looks. And I think it's a personality thing. I think she, on one episode they talked about that one of the guys she dated got like just a friend vibe when she was actually into him. I think she does that. I think she exudes a just friends kind of thing, and she probably treats the guy she's into the same as her friends. And that's just her being her. But yeah, I don't see her. I didn't get the feeling that she's a very like intimate or romantic person. So I think that's probably part of it.
So I'm going to go on a limb here and guess that you probably wouldn't date her.
Would not.
Oh.
Yeah, would not. She is too much for me. And yeah, I just couldn't. I could not put up with it.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
I think we're done.
that's all I got. I really enjoyed the Why Won't You Date Me podcast, so I think people should check it out anyway. It's funny. Even though
It's
it's not
funny.
Nick's cup of tea, cup of coffee, should I say?
Yeah. Cup of coffee.
It's not Nick's cup of
Cup of
coffee, but it's pretty freaking funny. Specifically, probably more so for females.
Very much.
We can relate. Us ladies out there just doing
So
it.
where can you listen to it?
You can listen to it on... Well, I listen to it on Spotify.
Same.
Probably
I
other
found it on
places
YouTube too.
YouTube.
It's on iTunes for sure.
Yeah, all the places that you can find us, too. Like
Mm-hmm.
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Libsyn.
Wherever podcasts are sold.
Wherever podcasts are sold. Sponsored by Yeti. You can tweet at us too, especially today. I'm full of the tweets today in support of International Podcast Day at _podcafe. Or you can email me at podcafe.contact@gmail.com. Just, with whatever. Say hey, thoughts,
Just say what's up.
recommendations. And make sure to tell your friends. So now that you've listened to this episode, you should tell your friends to listen because, like we said, however many downloads there are, that's what we're going to donate to a charity of our choosing that is all going towards the Chicago Marathon, which is happening next weekend. So it's all very
Next
exciting.
weekend, so you have until then.
Yep, to listen.
Okay. Well, still don't have a tagline, but working on it. One
Are
season
you?
in, still don't have a tagline.
Are you working on it, though?
Nope.
Yeah. I feel like... Did she have a tagline? Did Nicole? Like a finishing one?
I guess I don't know.
I
No?
don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Happy International Podcast Day. Happy belated National Coffee Day.
Mm-hmm.
Drink up cold brew before it's too cold.